Hello. Thank you for joining me for Tea with Jess today on March 15th, St. Patrick's Day week. I'm wearing my green. I'm so glad you're here. I have things to share with you. As you know, if you've been following my Facebook posts and Tea with Jess last Tuesday uh, was launch day for um, the stills. This beautiful, I have it up in the corner, but I'm going to hold it up anyway. Let's see here. Hopefully, this is very bright, which is too bad because I have some other photos to share with you. Ah, well, still learning after this year. The stills came out last Tuesday, so very exciting. Always exciting to have a book launch. One of the things that I did to celebrate was I had a wonderful chat with my friend and fellow author Mariah Fredericks, whose next novel comes out in April, Death of a Showman. And we had a chat at Murder by the Book online, which was great, hosted by Murder by the Book in Houston, Texas. So, great place to pick up some copies of the stills if you'd like. There's also autographed copies available from Poisoned Pen. I want to make sure to remind you of a couple of free ways to still possibly get your hands on the stills if you I'd love it if you'd buy it or borrow it from your library. But the giveaway on what I have to be nice to my fans and tell you the giveaway on Goodreads of the stills ends tonight at midnight. So if you haven't already, head on over to Goodreads and look for the stills. Enter that giveaway. There's also a giveaway on Criminal Element, which is a website that has all kinds of interesting articles about mystery and suspense novels, including one I wrote about Mabel Walker Willebrand. She's one of my um, interesting people who makes a cameo appearance in the stills. She was in real life. I think I've mentioned her before on these little Tea with Jess episodes, but she was the Assistant Attorney General in 1927 when the stills is set. So I wrote an article about her for Criminal Element. Just go to criminalelement.com, do a little search on the stills or my name, Jess Montgomery. And I'll also try to remember to post all these links in a comment after this broadcast. But there's a giveaway there that ends March 19th at 1:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or I guess now daylight savings time, right? How are we feeling about Eastern? How about daylight savings time? I think we should just have one time year round, don't you? I really think we should. Um, anyway, take a look at that article. I think she's really fascinating, and um, see if you can enter your name there and maybe you want a copy. And then tomorrow, I have to tell you about a few other things and authors. Um, I will be, let's find the book cover. I'm sorry about the glare, but I'll be on Bloom with Tall Poppy Writers with author. Hang on a second. This is driving me nuts. We'll just make it spooky dark in here. See if that helps. That doesn't help at all. Oh, well. Never mind. I'll try to post the images. I'm still learning. After a whole year, I'm still learning how to do this stuff. Anyway, Jessica Strasser, wonderful author and friend, will be hosting me tomorrow on Bloom with Tall Poppy Writers. It's a Facebook group. Get to know that group. Tons of great writers there. So you'll find um, all kinds of books to add to your to be read pile. And Mary Beth comments, daylight savings year round. Yeah, I agree. Let's go for that. Anyway, I'll be on Bloom with Tall Poppy Writers with Jessica Strasser. You want to find her book. Another group you want to find out about is First Chapter Fun. It's a Facebook group. And they've been going for a year, and they're a lot of fun. It's hosted by Hank Philippi Ryan and Hannah Mary McKinnon, and they read a first chapter twice a week from authors' books. I'll be on later this month, um, and with they get the authors and publishers' permission, of course, but it's a lot of fun. You get to hear somebody read to you, which is fun, right? And you learn about all these great new books, and it's just a wonderful little lunch break twice a week. So check that out. That's a lot of fun. And um, anyway, on the 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day, they'll be sharing tons of giveaways, including from me, but lots of authors. So you just go over there, take a look, join the group, make a few comments, read the posts. You can end up with a wonderful list of books to read this spring and summer. So that's what's going on. And like I said, I'll post the links. Um, I've been writing a lot of. Oh, I got it. I'm still using the Calamity mug. I can't get over how much fun this mug is. The Calamity mug. Could always be worse. That's the theory. Earl Grey tea in the Calamity mug. I've been writing lots of pieces, not just about Mabel Walker Willebrandt. Also, I wrote a piece for History Reader about the federal government's policies in 1927 about prohibition. But there's a gentleman named Marshall Zering. I'm probably mispronouncing his name, but he runs Campaign for the American Reader. That's another great group to check out. And he'll have writers like write pieces about who would they cast in the movie of their book, which I can never come up with. So if you all have ideas about who should be in a kinship series on a channel somewhere near you, let me leave a comment. I'd be actually quite interested to see what people would come up with. Um, but he also has what he calls the page 69 test. And it's based on this theory that it's not his theory, but it's based on a theory that if you go to page 69 of any book, you can kind of find the core and heart of the novel, of what is it about thematically and otherwise. And I always think that's not possible. And he has people write essays about their own books saying if yes, that works for their novel, or no, it doesn't. And I always think it won't work. And then I get to page 69 of my published books and realize it really does capture the essence of the book. So I'm going to read you from page 69 from the stills. There are no spoilers, so don't worry about that if you haven't read it yet. And do go look up Marshall Zering's Campaign for the American Reader essays, because again, you'll find so many great authors. And it's just fascinating to me, though, how this little test works. So here we go. This is page 69 from the book, and a little bit of the setup, because he does allow writers to share a little bit of setup in their essays. A little bit of setup is that Sheriff Lily has discovered that a young kid, 13-year-old in her community, has gotten sick drinking tainted alcohol. She's come to his house with the doctor, hoping to try to help him. And she, this is her alert that things are getting nasty in her community about about moonshining and tainted alcohol in the area. And the family is the Harkins family, and the husband and father of the family works for Lily, helping her in her farming. He plows the fields for her and whatnot. So she hires him in farming season. And now she's going to his house for the first time because of his son. So, and he has a wife named Dora who's very sick as well. Lily clears her throat. Mr. Harkins, I can get Zebediah to the help he needs. Based on what Ruth told us, Zebediah has ingested tainted alcohol. The sooner we can, Lily stutters to a stop. Whereas at her farm, Leroy often removes his hat and lowers his eyes when addressing her, now his gaze is straight and sharp as a finely honed stone arrowhead. This is his turf, his land. You need to pull my boy in for drinking? So be it. As he starts to pull his wife from the cold door, his voice softens. Come on, honey. Lily's fists clench. Damn that it's the man's legal right to run his family as he sees fit. She relaxes her hands, tries to speak gently. I'm not pulling him in. We just want Zebediah to be all right. Dora jerks away from her husband, and the look on her face is as if she has shot him through the heart. Please, Leroy, just let the doctor in. Didn't do nothing for you, Leroy mutters, just like that fool church didn't do nothing. Lily's heart crackles, sorrowful for this man's loss of faith. He's already lost so much, but not his love for his wife. As he gently turns her away from the door, Leroy says over his shoulder, Come in then. Shut the door behind you. Inside the tiny kitchen, there are no sensor signs of Thanksgiving. Ruth is already busy at a small work table, assembling bread and butter sandwiches, handing them to two toddlers, a boy and a girl, fraternal twins. Lily's heart flinches as Dora walks gingerly over to Ruth. She folds her arms around the girl and rests her cheek against Ruth's. Dora is past mothering, except for this relief that her daughter is fine, wanting the boy upstairs to be fine, wanting all of her young ones to be fine. Dora says to Lily, You'll find him in the bedroom at the top of the back staircase. And that passage really does capture um, the plot and themes, and not all obviously on one page, but many of the characters and their conflicts in the stills, because it captures the tension between um, individual freedom. Mr. Harkins has the freedom to decide what he wants for his family, but Lily wants to help his family. So there's that tension between community, as represented by Lily, and individual choices as represented by Leroy. There's the theme of prohibition and tainted alcohol, and all that that entails, and how alcohol can be, um, especially when it's been messed with, um, such a poison, literally and emotionally and metaphorically, in a community, because there are big things happening in Bronwyn County in this book with prohibition and alcohol. Um, it captures as well motherhood, because Lily and the other narrator and Dora in this scene are all very concerned about their children, and approach this in very different ways. And how are they going to be good mothers to their children in really difficult situations for all three of them? Lily's the sheriff; she's got a lot on her plate. The other narrator is a woman named Fiona, who you'll just have to read the stills to find out about Fiona. But what she shares in common with Lily and Dora here is a concern for her children and their future. And then, of course, Dora is sick and dying, and yet she's got these children that she loves very much and wants them to be okay as well. And Lily also references, she's sad about Leroy's loss of faith. And faith plays a big role in this novel, too. So I just wanted to share that little passage, one page from the stills, partly because, well, I want you to know more about the stills, but also because I just find that really fascinating that that one page test really does work. So go to the campaign for the American Reader, see what I wrote about that, and see what other books you find, um, uh, by authors who've written essays for that site as well. So I was going to show you one more cover, but obviously I will never be a lighting expert. So we all know that's not in my future or in my past, as we can tell. But nevertheless, I want to tell you about next Monday, the 22nd. I'll be interviewing Christina Consolino. Her new book is coming out this Thursday, March 18th. It's called Rewrite the Stars. And she's graciously agreed to be on Tea with Jess with me next Monday at 3. Um, And we'll look forward to welcoming Christina and hearing about her novel. It's a contemporary about family and PTSD, and how do you overcome that, and how do you find um, love with each other in such difficult circumstances. So thank you for joining me for a tea with Jess. And as Nana says in all my books, life is hard. Have tea, and I will see you all next week. Bye bye.